Hey everyone, it's Autumn. Today I wanted to do the second video in my little Chanel series, and essentially this series is just showing sorts of different aesthetics that you can get from using the Chanel product line. So the first video I did, if you were curious, I will have linked up here, and in that video I did kind of like my everyday sort of minimal aesthetic, barely there, just fresh-faced, glowy kind of makeup. Today's video obviously is less glowy, and this is kind of like if I need makeup to stay all day, I have an important meeting, I need to look put together, it's not overly glowy, and it's definitely, you know, more powder products here. It's definitely going to stay. This would be perfect for office meetings. This is generally the type of makeup I do if I am going to be like on stage for Army, because it's still kind of subdued and nice looking. It's not over the top. And then tomorrow's look is actually going to be more full on, like say more glam if I'm getting really dressed up, if I'm going out to the club, which by the way, I have not gone out to the club in years, but if it's that kind of makeup, like maybe New Year's or event makeup, it's just more dramatic styled makeup. So that is going to be tomorrow's video. So anyway, also the products I wanted to focus on today were these two Chanel products from the new Mediterranean line. I have the blush in Peche Rosé, which I'm pretty sure I'm saying it wrong, but I am using that blush. And then the eyeshadow quad in Mediterranean. And then at the end of the video, if you were curious, I am going to compare these two products to items I already had in my collection to see whether or not I actually needed them, which you never really need anything. But if you had your eyes on these products and you already own the products that I show you at the end, maybe I could save you a couple of dollars. But anyway, let's just go ahead and get into the makeup look. Just like yesterday, I'm gonna use this Le Beiges to kind of prep my skin. And as you can see, it kind of comes out like little tiny pigments suspended in like that water like gel. Sorry, the bottom of my hands, this is from, oh, right here. This is from lifting. I'm like all calloused, one of them's bloody. I dropped over 100-pound bar on my pelvic bone like 2 days ago, and it's black. My pelvic bone is like bruised so bad. If you follow me on my Instagram, you will have seen where I like mentioned that this padded thing for your hips, when you do those like hip thrust, it like slipped off the bar as I was doing a hip thrust, and the bar kind of like smacked down on my pelvis. So it was awesome. Maybe I should zoom you in some more. There we go. All right, so today I'm gonna use a different Chanel foundation. This is the Le Beiges Tint, where's the thing? Healthy Glow Foundation. So I'm gonna use this today. I might have to get up and wet a beauty blender. I've only used this once before, when I was actually filming a video. Let me get another brush. Okay, I'm gonna start with this Marc Jacobs like sort of paddle foundation brush. So I have used this once before when I filmed a video. I don't know if I'm actually putting the video up or not. This is scented just like yesterday's foundation. This color is actually better for me. Well, actually it's the same color as the foundation I used yesterday, which is this new one right here. Same color as that. It's a better color though than the Vita Lumiere Aqua, because I don't think they have B21, and I had to get 20 beige, and that one's a little orange on me. This is still a sheer sort of coverage foundation, which I don't mind. I like my skin to look like skin, and then if I want to go in with some coverage, I'll usually go in with some extra concealer and pinpoint conceal. I have some spots because it's lady time. Well, not anymore. I think I ended yesterday. You guys don't need to know that. Okay, that was one pump. I'm gonna do a second pump on my face here. Hit the forehead. All right, so you can see it's still pretty sheer on the skin. I'm gonna go in with some concealer just around the eyes. And I'll probably use a different kind of concealer for the blemishes on my face. I'm gonna put some on now, but I know that from using this concealer yesterday, it's nice, but it doesn't really cover blemishes that well. I'm gonna go back in just with this brush that I used for my foundation. All right, let's go in with some of this bronzer. This is the only bronzer I have from Chanel. I do not have a powdered bronzer, so you will see this in all of the videos. And I'm gonna use it on this Merit brush. I have been loving this Merit brush, and I also feel like I mentioned that I love this Merit brush in every video. All right, I'm gonna jump off camera really quickly, do my eyebrows, and I'll be right back. All right, so eyebrows are filled in. We're gonna go ahead and go in and start working on our eyes. So this eye palette has a bronzy, greeny gold color, a beautiful sort of rose gold color next to it, a taupe shade, and then a kind of champagne sparkle right there. I think that's the best sort of description of these shadows. I'm first gonna go in with this more taupey shade right there. And I'm gonna go in with this Referral 15 brush. Actually, I just dipped into not the right shade. I accidentally just dipped into the rose gold. That's fine. So we'll just put that down on the lid first. Because I was gonna put the taupe into the crease. It's okay, I can do it the other way around. Let me zoom you in. Okay. All right. So I like that these shades kind of go on a little bit sheer. The formula is really nice. All right, now I'm gonna go in with the taupey shade I was originally gonna go in with. Same brush. And kind of work it into the crease in the outer corner a little bit. Right, I'm gonna go in with this kind of sort of flat shader brush into this sort of bronzy, greeny gold shade. And I'm gonna go along the lash line on the outer portion here, and then into the V. And then I'm just gonna blend it with this brush right here. And I'm gonna use, the reason I'm using a smaller brush is because a larger one is gonna blend it into everything else and kind of make it a little bit muddier. And I'm just kind of wanting to diffuse it a little bit. All right, I have this little tiny MAC brush, but this is the 515 SE. I'm gonna go back into the sort of taupe shade that I used in the crease. I'm gonna go back into that, and I'm working that under the lash line. I always like something a little gray taupe or taupe under there. Sometimes if I'm being real interesting, I'll go for something almost like yellow or a pukey brown or something, but typically I like to go a little bit gray on the bottom lash line. All right, and then to finish it off, I'm gonna use my finger and kind of go into this sparkly shade right here. And I'm gonna pat that on the center of my lid right here. And then also take my pinky and put a little bit of it in the inner corner. All right, so now while you're already zoomed into my face, let's go into this blush. So it comes with a blush brush, and I think I am gonna use it to kind of just go that way. So I'm gonna go into the powder, get it on there, maybe put a little bit on the back of my hand, but I think This kind of brush doesn't pick up a whole lot, and I'm just gonna kind of sweep. There we go. You can kind of see on this side, I have the sort of like orangey golden shade on the cheeks, and on the other side I don't. So with this blush, I find that this is not the typical sort of eye colors I would use with an orange kind of blush. This eye look is a little cool for that. So usually I would do like a nude sort of cheek if I'm doing sort of like these sort of taupey shades on my complexion. So I am gonna go in through the crease a little bit, like above the crease, to bring the blush into the eye look to make my look like a little bit more cohesive. And then just work it like right here above my crease, but like below the top of the brow bone, just to kind of bring the orange shade into the look. You can even bring it into the eye. There, and I think that's just a little bit more cohesive to bring the full look together. I also noticed that from using this brush, it's almost like I'm getting hard pan on this. So maybe I should use like a more natural sort of fiber brush. Let me dig in with this and see. Yeah, I think that's better. So the brush it comes with almost causes it to get hard pan. I like how it contours the cheek, but it's possibly not the best sort of fibers for the way it's pressed. All right, so I may have to go back over with the blush when I'm done with this. I wanted to use this powder all over the face using the actual puff. Yesterday, I just put it in a few strategic places. So I'm gonna get some powder into, I guess, into the lid. There we go. And pick it up on the puff. So I still don't have a ton on there, but I have quite a bit. So I'm gonna start around the chin. Oh yeah. And I ought to like pinch it to get under the eyes. Down the side of the nose. And even like you can see how shiny naturally my brow bone is. I'll just go into that a little bit with this powder. Then I'm just gonna use this large brush to kind of just go all over the face to kick off any excess powder. And I don't think really I need to go in with any more blush, but I will. All right, and then I'm gonna go in and do some spot concealing around my face to just kind of get these little tiny areas like in here where you can see the little blemishes. And what I use for that, and I'll show you because I have a new one that I haven't used very much, is this Laura Mercier Secret Camouflage. And I took, it's the same exact one, but I took it and I put it into a little pot for travel because this packaging on this one, the top had broken off. So I just scraped, you can kind of see one side. I just kind of scraped them into each side, which has been working great this way. I'm just gonna kind of work a little bit into a pointer brush here and do some spot concealing. My camera may die while I'm doing this, but then I'll just come back with the new battery when I'm all done. So, all right, so I'm all done with the spot concealing, and now we're just gonna go in with our mascara. Yesterday I did not curl my lashes, so I think today I will. I'm just gonna go ahead, using these are from Laura Mercier. And then I'm gonna go in with this Chanel, Le Volume de Chanel Waterproof. right, so all done with the mascara, and then the last thing I'm going to use today is this Rouge Cocoa Flash in the shade Boy. This is a classic shade. It's kind of like a sort of sheer taupey shade, which I think it goes perfect with the eye look. Maybe not with the orange blush. I think overall though, looking at my face and marrying the eye look into the blush, I think my skin looks healthy and it looks nice. It's just not maybe something that I would have chosen for the collection, if that makes sense. All right, so that's the completed makeup look. I'm gonna go do my hair, and then I'm gonna come right back and we are going to talk about these two new items from the Mediterranean collection, and also I'm gonna do some comparison swatches with products that I already owned to see whether or not I really needed this, which newsflash, I didn't, but I do have some items that are pretty close, so if you already have them, maybe you will be less inclined to have to purchase this. All right, I'll be right back. All right, so I did my hair and I am back and I am ready to talk about these two products. First, I'm going to swatch and talk about the Eyeshadow Palette. These shades are beautiful. They all work really well together and I've really been enjoying them. But I thought to myself, since these are right up my alley, I'm pretty sure that I have these exact shades or something similar already in my collection. These are super, super smooth. Look how pretty those are. This is the sparkle one, and then I already kind of talked about the shades. This is the more sort of rose gold shade. This on my pinky is the taupey shade, and this one right here is the sort of like greeny goldy bronze shade. So I'm gonna put them on my hand, and then here they are all swatched out. So today, using this quad, I obviously did a more wearable look because I still have places to be, and this is just my style. I don't do super crazy full-on makeup. I've talked about in other videos as to why I don't do crazy full-on makeup, but a quick rundown is my eyes are uneven, so the more structured of a makeup look I do, the more it accentuates the fact that one of my eyes is higher up than the other. All right, so that was a little bit of a tangent that doesn't really matter to what we're about to talk about here. So I did pull out two items that I have that I found similar colors in. So I didn't have any sort of palette or quad that kind of already contained all four of those colors together. And in the back of my head, I thought, it's probably pretty similar to Tom Ford Nude Dip. But once I kind of pulled it out, you can see this taupey shade leans a lot more purple. The rose gold shade is more pink in this. This deep shade here is nothing like the deeper sort of bronzy greeny shade. And then the champagne shade here is just kind of a wash of champagne, and it doesn't have the sparkle that this has. So it's kind of like the same sort of aesthetic, but this is even cooler than the Chanel quad. Like, and if you put them side by side, they are nothing alike. So I'm trying to hold the little things here. You can see this one's more like green, sort of golden, and then this one is more taupe leaning. So the closest shades I was able to find to what these are, the first palette I want to talk about is this one. Last year, it's the Dior palette for last year's holiday collection. Now, obviously not all the shades are in there, but there are some similar shades here. The two shades that I would say that are the most similar is in here, like that sort of greeny bronzy color, which you can see in the pan. They don't look super similar like in person. This one's more subdued. This one's a little bit more green. And then you can also see that this kind of champagne shade here looks like, not champagne, but the sort of rose gold shade here looks like the rose gold shade that it's right next to in this quad. I will swatch the two that I think look the most alike next to each other. So right here is the Dior, and right here is the Chanel. So you can see when they're swatched side by side, they are very similar. Again though, this is slightly more green, and then this is more sort of like a taupey kind of green. But if you have the Chanel, I don't think that you would need, or if you had the Dior, I don't think you would need the Chanel. And then here they are swatched side by side, which again, you can see that, okay, so the one that was on this finger, which I believe is the Dior, is swatched here. So yeah, it's slightly more green. All right, so let's go in and do the more rose gold shade. So I have the rose gold shade here from the Dior, and then the rose gold shade here from the Chanel. So Dior first, this is the Dior, and then this right here is the Chanel. And again, you can see, same idea, pretty similar. I would say that the Dior is slightly more pink, but those two are very, very close. Also, the Dior I think has a little bit more sparkle than the Chanel. All right, so let's move on to the next one that I think shares some similarities. And this is the Charlotte Tilbury, which I think you can still get this. This is the Star Aura palette. And you can see the Charlotte Tilbury right off the bat goes a little bit more sort of like pink chocolate sort of shimmer, and it does not have that green shade. So it's more of a bronze shade, and here it's like a warmer bronze shade. But the shade that I want to compare the most is actually this one. That one right there is like that sparkle accent shade that is in the Dior. So on my pinky, I have the Charlotte Tilbury, and let me pick up the Dior sort of sparkle shade. So here they are. Oh, okay. My hand's so dirty. All right. This is the most awkward way ever, but there they are side by side. So right here, I'm putting the Charlotte Tilbury, and then there is the Dior. The Charlotte Tilbury right here leans a little bit more pink. So none of these are exact, but they do kind of have sort of that same kind of aesthetic. And then I'm gonna compare this shade right here in the Charlotte Tilbury to the more rose goldy shade in the Dior. So then here they are side by side. My hands are so filthy at this point. Again, really close, but you can see the Charlotte Tilbury is actually a deeper shade. And I'll put it here. Yeah, and there's the Charlotte Tilbury. It's a little bit deeper than the Chanel. So did I actually need the Chanel? No, because I feel like I could have accomplished the same look using the Charlotte Tilbury and the Dior. However, they're not all together in that. So if I like wanted to travel with it or use it like all together, or if I was somebody who did not have a ton of makeup and all four of these shades were just calling my name, this would totally be worth the buy. But if you have those other things, you probably don't need this. All right, so let's talk about the blush. The blush is very interesting because when I first got it, I thought it would be a little bit more peach because of the name. But when swatched, this thing is very orange. It's orange with gold running through. All right, so here it is on this filthy hand. But as you can see, it is kind of peach, but it's like, it's more or less a really bright kind of orange with gold running through it. And that's why I feel like the more sort of taupey palette paired with this isn't really like a good match. Like I made it work. I think this is a beautiful look, but I was really surprised by exactly how orange it was. Anyway, I have a couple things to compare it to. This first one is from Dior, and this is the Coral Natural Healthy Glow blush. They have a bright pink one, like a rose color, and they also have the coral. This coral has the brightness that the Chanel has. Like you can see, it's pretty bright. I'm gonna just swatch it next to it. But it doesn't have the shimmer, and it's a little bit more sheer. So yeah, that's a good representation of them both. So it's obviously more sheer than this one, but I mean, I did like a full-on kind of swatch. But I think on the cheek, you're still gonna get a similar look if you already have the Dior. Another one I wanted to bring up is this Nars Luster. So this obviously in the pan looks quite a bit deeper, and I almost didn't swatch and compare them, but I would say Nars Luster is probably the closest thing that I have to it, because when you swatch it out, it really is an orange with gold running through. It's just a little bit more nude brown. And I would say there's more of a golden shift to it also. So this is Nars Luster, so you can see it's just not as vivid as this one. But it does have more of a like sheen to it. And then the last thing I wanted to compare, which I don't even think is that close, but if you were curious, this Nude Gasm palette that Charlotte Tilbury came out with, because it leans kind of like an orange goldy peach. It has a lot more shimmer in it. My hands are disgusting. I have like eyeshadow everywhere, but it obviously is still kind of an orange color, but it has a lot more gold in it. So I will swatch it over top, and there is the Charlotte Tilbury. So you can see they're all kind of different. I feel like if you were to layer the Dior with one of these, you would have a similar kind of look. So I hope that those swatches were helpful and that you enjoyed this video, and I will see you tomorrow with the more full-on kind of look. All right, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you soon. Bye. I'm a sucker for your love.